is this?
608.
608. Man, already hitting the 600 mark. Incredible.
I didn't know I had so much to talk about.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. So today we have actually two special guests, one returning and one brand new. The new guest is apparently Ruth's what she calls a rising star here in the real estate game here in Las Vegas. Her name is Natasha Kirby, and she's with eXp Realty and on Aaron Taylor's team. Yeah. And she's going to come on and talk about what she's doing, how she's accelerating her business in this environment right now. And after that, we're going to have the returning guest, Jeff Gitlin from Jagged Edge Marketing, who's going to talk about how to optimize your Google business page here and how to still use Google as a viable source to, build a brand for your business and have clients find you online. So before we get to our two guests, though, Ruth, what is happening in Las Vegas?
Well, let's get started here. I am going to show everybody what's going on in the stats, put myself in the corner. So big day, we have 27 days of inventory. We haven't had 27 days of inventory for months. But the bad news is the median price jumped up to $405,000. Now I've got a happy face and a frowning face because for buyers, that's not so good. But for people who have equity in their homes, it's wonderful. If you bought a home in January at the median price of $365,000, you're now at $40,000 in equity. So somebody just handed you a $40,000 check, and imagine that. The market is hot. We listed 208 homes yesterday, and I just love that. I was happy a month ago when it went over 100 new listings, but now it's 208. So that is really exciting. We put 123 under contract. We closed 139 and 27 days of inventory. So we are just cooking along. And I'm also keeping track of investors. The non-occupied sales in Las Vegas so far this year is 31% of the market. So that's from January through today. Investors, non-owner occupied, have bought 31% of our inventory. So that's about 44 homes per day that investors are here and they are buying. Now, across the country, these numbers are higher. They are not higher here because if you remember, if you were in real estate when we had the foreclosure crash, investors like Blackstone and other big hedge funds, REITs, real estate investment trusts, they came in and swooped up homes at low prices. I mean, look at 2011 on my chart. I mean, the median price home was $120,000. Well, these fellows were buying homes for $100,000, and so they have been getting cash flow. Rents have been going up, and equity has been going up, and so they are now going into other markets because they have a pretty good business going here. So you don't see so many of the big hedge funds buying homes in that represent the 31%. The 31% is mainly mom and pops, people moving up and renting the home that they moved out of. They're not, the 31% is not the big guys coming in, but the big guys are coming somewhere else. And I'm going to put this down for everybody. And we're going to get Max back on the screen. And we're going to talk about what's going on the strip. And what's happening is the big guys are buying casinos, Max.
Yeah, they are. They're big. And this is the product of what's happening on the interest rate side right now. I mean, all these big hedge funds and private equity guys are flush with cash right now, simply because they're leveraging themselves up with a low interest rate environment. And so when you brought up the topic, what's happening right now is a win-win for One Vegas and the casino operators, and for Blackstone and all these other private equity guys, simply because now they can deploy some cash, right? They have billions of dollars on their books right now in cash, and they have nowhere to put it. And so no better place to put it than into real estate that potentially could yield them something. So the casinos are selling off of their real estate pieces, right, which is pretty much dead equity. I mean, if you really think about it, and that's the same thing for individual homeowners too, right? The equity that you have in your home is not necessarily growing. The value of your home is growing, right? But the actual equity and principal in your home that you put in, and any additional gains you have isn't growing. I mean, that's not growing at all. So what they're doing is they're deploying that cash to buy up these casinos, and how the casinos win is they unload all this debt equity onto somebody else, right? And then lease it back, so become essentially renters.
Yes.
And capture what I think the number MGM was 300 something like 600 million or something like that.
Well,
selling off. Do you have the numbers?
Let's see. $17.2 billion deal was Wednesday when vici acquired MGM Resorts.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, these are big numbers. And that's one of the reasons why people need to understand in the real estate community that the hedge funds aren't buying houses, they're buying casinos.
Right.
So they see Las Vegas in a different light.
Absolutely, and that's a vote of confidence on the casino business, really.
Well, they think that, and I'll just interrupt you for a second, because I think Blackstone said, let me see if I have the quote, that they see that Las Vegas is going to continue to thrive, and people are going to continue to come here, and they can't think of a better investment right now than the Las Vegas Strip.
Exactly right. So, I mean, the casino, Blackstone wins because they get lease payments back that are creating cash flow for their investors and their company, right? Because they're borrowing money at next to zero interest rates right now, and then able to get whatever the cap rate is. It's not publicly disclosed, but I'm sure it's anywhere between 8 to 9 to maybe 10% cap rate, maybe, and they'll even do it for 5 right now, because where can you get 5% yield anywhere with money at this point?
And so they're slated to own more than a dozen of the Vegas Strip casinos. That's incredible.
Yeah. And this is a windfall for the casinos, because now they, with the pandemic last year and everything shut down, their debts rose, right? Because they didn't have revenues, and they did a pretty good job, apparently, of reducing costs during this period of time. But now, with this restructuring of these real estate deals, they're now infused with more cash that they can use to operate and free up. And now they become operators only instead of landowners.
Yeah, maybe gamblers will get more money now.
Exactly right. Maybe they'll throw some promotions that give you 99.99% of your input on your money back. But this is all good news for Las Vegas, because there's a lot of confidence right now in this town. And my suspicions here with the inventory rise here, Ruth, on the real estate, is just that we're heading into a kind of a slow period of time, right? School is starting again, so people moving, they've already moved, and settled. So, but we'll start to pick up once school kind of finalizes, right around, I think, October, November. We're going to probably see a little spike, and maybe inventories go down as less people list their homes and more people start buying again.
Well, here's the stat: 130 people move to Las Vegas every day.
Wow.
So I think the slowdown in the market is actually kind of the summertime blues a little bit, because when I look at last July, it was a little slow as well. And going into August, it slows down, like you said, because of the school thing. But I think it's going to heat back up again, and I think the prices are going to go down a little bit. August 3rd, I did the stats, and the median price as of August 3rd was $389, and I was so happy because it went down from $395. And then this morning I wake up and I find out, I did the stat again, and it went back up to $405. So that's what it was for July, and so far that's what it is for August. But we'll see if it maintains that now, Max, because the number of days of inventory is 27,
right?
And we were averaging 20 days in July, which heated up the market and the price, the price fights that were going on.
Sure.
So we'll see what happens. My prayer is that it goes back down under 400,000 so that more people can buy homes, because like I said, 130 people are moving here every day.
Yeah,
so
that's incredible.
I know it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I think that's 5.4 an hour.
All right. So let's bring our first guest on here to talk about what she's been doing to maybe take advantage of this market. So we have Natasha Kirby with us here from eXp Realty. Natasha, thank you for coming on this morning. I know Saturday mornings, you're probably out doing real work, but Thank you for coming on the show today. So my first question always to our clients or guests here on the first time is give us a little bit. Are you a native here of Las Vegas? Are you an implant? Where are you from?
So I'm originally from Maine, and I have been in Las Vegas for about 4 years.
Oh, okay.
So very different from where I grew up.
I bet.
I cannot see myself moving anytime soon, though I really have fallen in love with Las Vegas. It has a lot to
Okay.
offer.
Right. You don't miss the greenery that Maine offers.
I do miss the green. I miss the green and I miss the beach more than really anything. If we could have more like grass and plants and a beach here,
Sure.
it'd be perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're only 4 hours away from one of the most beautiful beaches in the world in Southern California. So,
Big plus.
right. And the water's warmer. The East Coast waters are tremendously cold.
I don't feel like the water is ever warm on the East Coast.
Mm.
You just
No,
have
it
to
isn't.
go in because
No, it isn't. So, what made you move out to Las Vegas?
so it really was just a string of events, random events. My best friend actually got married out here, and then I ended up meeting someone and really falling in love with the city, and slowly over a course of a year decided to move out here.
Okay. And how long have you been in real estate now? When did you decide to step into that
I
arena?
have real estate only about a year and a half.
Okay. Okay.
Very new. I got licensed right before COVID, honestly, is when I really started getting started.
All right. Right. So Ruth tells me that you're not afraid to work, and two, try new things. So tell us a little bit about your experience here in the first year and a half and how that's been. I mean, you started pretty much right during COVID, this whole pandemic thing. If my math is right here, right?
Yes. And thank you for saying that, Ruth. You're so sweet. But so when I started, I will say I was a little lost in the beginning, starting in a market where there were so many questions of what was going to happen and me being
Mm-hmm.
new. It was definitely a lot of trial and error to start out. And then when I joined Aaron Taylor's team, the amount of support and guidance, it's like I did a 180. Like I had all these resources to me, and I was so much more confident because I knew I had the support and the knowledge and everything I need at my fingertips. So it wasn't until probably about 6 months in when I joined his team that everything changed, and I just
Mm.
like finally felt like it. It was like a little bit of a sad period of like I don't know what I'm doing for 6 months. Like I'm gonna keep trying things and showing up to the classes and just kind of absorbing what I can. But the first 6 months were definitely a very slow start.
Okay.
And
So
that might have been okay because it gave you time to learn, because that's when COVID was, everybody was in lockdown and you couldn't do some of the things that now you've learned have helped make you successful.
Yeah, I think it did benefit me more than I realized,
mm,
honestly. And it showed me how bad I wanted it.
Plus,
Because
I've noticed, Natasha, you've got the ant theory going on. Do you know what that is?
no.
The ant theory is the anti-negative thought theory.
Oh.
Anti-negative thought. You've got the ant theory. You don't think negative. I
No.
picked up on that when I first met you.
Oh, thank you, Ruth. Yes, I think that did help me though, because I had small moments of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but then I was like, I'm not giving
Yeah.
up. I'm gonna keep going.
right. Fantastic. So if you look back, Natasha, 6 months, you're kind of searching, wondering what the heck did I get myself into in this business, right? Everybody's telling me they're selling homes like crazy. What's going on here? Walk us through what, like, one or two, three things that like kind of changed that up for you. What kind of support? What did you end up doing? That created this momentum that you're having now.
I would say the biggest things, which are things that I'm still working on, but just overall the consistency. So I knew how to get up and work and go do things, but not only just the consistency, doing things that are going to benefit me. In
Mm.
the beginning, I did a lot of things that like weren't as helpful as I thought they were going to be.
Give
So
us a specific example. So
being on the team, on Aaron's team, a big thing is phone calls.
Mhm.
So we're calling warm leads. I didn't do a lot of phone calling before I met Aaron. So instead, I was doing open houses or other things, and open houses are great. But when I started making phone calls, I was horrible for one.
Everybody is. Everybody is.
You're normal.
Yes, that is a normal experience.
I think being on the team though pushed me to do things consistently that I was uncomfortable with, which helped me a lot. And then
Okay.
also having the support and other people starting out that are like, I'm like, just basically going through the motions of like, this is what's going on with me. Like, doesn't really make sense. Like, and they're like, oh, that happened to me too. It was like everything I said happened to everybody else. And they're just like, that's normal. Like, this is what I did. I think just all the advice and love and support. Like, then I was like, I got this. Just going to keep working, keep picking at it. And then if I have any questions, I have this huge amount of people who just want to help me.
Oh,
So that was a game changer, just the help and not feeling like you're alone almost.
okay.
But you were very receptive, Natasha. You were just so receptive to everything. You were like a sponge. You learned, you believed, and I think you understood Aaron Taylor's belief in the secret and the law of attraction, and that's why I say you're a positive thinker, because that's the secret, is being a positive thinker.
All right. So did Aaron give you warm leads to call? Who were you calling at this point?
Yes, so we're calling people who he does a ton of marketing and advertising. So people who may have purposely stumbled upon looking at some homes and put in some info. It's funny because people like fill out their info, like phone number, email address, all that. So you think they know that they like put it in there, but you'll call some people and they're like, this is the wrong person. You're like, okay, sorry about that.
By the way, are you looking to buy or sell a home?
Yes, never are great leads, but it's like anything else. You have to really fish through it.
Yeah, you got it. And so, do you practice? How did you get better at making those phone calls?
Literally just making the calls. I don't think Aaron, I can hear him tell me make calls in my head, like when I dream, and so it was really just consistently making the calls, and then it went from being so scary to like, okay, it's not like it used to. Sometimes I would sit for like an hour before, just like dreading it. Like, do I have to do it? I have to do it. Okay, I'm gonna do it. All right, let's just do it. Now it's like I sit down and I can just the fact that I could just start making calls. I'm like, okay, you're improving.
All right. All right. So what kind of your production levels are you experiencing right now? If I can ask that.
Yeah, so things have been pretty consistent since joining Aaron's team. I started selling the first month that I joined with him. And then I will say I've noticed in myself something I'm working on is that I'll have a few in contract and then I kind of have like a little lull and then I'll have a few in a lull. But
that's real estate.
last month I closed 3, so that was great for me, only being a year and a half in. So I had 3 last month. I'm working with some people now. Nothing in contract currently. Those all closed last week. So just keeping the ball rolling, but just only being a year and a half in and closing 3 in a month, I'm like impressed with myself because I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So,
I can tell you people spend years in real estate and don't close 3 a month, right, Ruth?
That's right.
What is the average, like 1.5 closings a month or
So
something?
there's 14,000 realtors, and only 2,500 sell 1 or more home a month.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you're up there.
So I'm working on the consistency part and just kind of getting my systems and everything in place so that it's more consistently that number a month.
Okay. So what are you doing to stay consistent? I mean, what kind of schedule do you run? That's one of the, kind of the most important things that Ruth talks about is like, it's great to say you consistent, but what kind of like scheduling are you? Like, what's your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? What's your daily activity look like?
So what I've tried and what I like to do is I like to go to the office in the morning, even if I don't have to be there, just to like get my brain in the mode of working. So getting up, I always make breakfast. I'm like a huge breakfast person. Coffee, breakfast, getting my mind ready for the day. And I've been waking up earlier. So I will say I'm naturally not somebody who wakes up early. So this has been a process, but I'm consistently can wake up earlier now. I like to go in the office and do some prospecting, really looking up homes for all my current leads, and then also making some calls, emails, and all that. But I don't make the majority of my calls until later in the day. So in the office for a bit, then I will get lunch. Then I'll usually go back home to my office and then get in the mode of we're about to make a lot of phone calls, set some appointments. If I do have any showings, I'll do them in the afternoon, always. And I do them in the morning if I have to, but I like to have the morning to really just get like the busy work done, and then do my showings and appointments in the afternoon. But most of my afternoons are just set aside for phone calls.
Okay. Do you have a target or a goal that you set on how many calls you make in the afternoon or on a daily basis?
I like to at least make, it depends how many people I talk to. So technically, I do have a goal to at least talk to 5 people, because you can make a lot of calls and only like not
Right.
much. So 5 people is the goal. But some days I'll talk to like 10, 15, 20 people. And some days if I'll be calling and I'll only talk to 2. So I like to balance it out. And I've but I've gotten a feel of what times I think work best, because I swear sometimes in the morning when I call, it's like nobody answers.
Everybody's busy.
Everybody's busy. Right.
So I like the afternoon a lot better.
Okay, fantastic. And you're obviously in the generation that Ruth and I wish we were, as far as this whole technology and social media days. I mean, I think Ruth can attest to this. I think this is the best opportunity for people to enter any type of business, because you can reach so many people. Have you utilized any type of social media to implement any of the stuff that Ruth talks about for your real estate marketing?
So I'm actually taking Ruth's class on Monday.
Okay.
Business Google page and all of that. But actually this week on our team, we all decided we need to have business pages. I have a business Instagram I started pretty recently, a couple months ago, but I'm starting a business Facebook page this week, and then I'm taking her class on Monday. So then I'll have more info on how to start more social media business pages.
Okay, fantastic.
So I'll give you a quick tip. So from a social media standpoint, or meshing that with the phone call. So one of the things that we teach that works is this says, "Hi, Natasha, sorry I missed you." And you do a little video on your phone and then you text it to the person that you called but missed them. And this is the secret here.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Natasha, we've said this, for the last 3 years now, right? No one is sending video texts, right, to strangers. I have no idea. It's just a habit, I guess. But I can tell you, if you start making these phone calls, right, if you have their cell number, right, after even if you do talk to them, just I would shoot a video of yourself and say, "Thank you. Hey, great talking to you." This just, once people see your face, they get that other connection towards you, right? And
so here's what we taught in class the other day, and this is Eric Hudson, and he did it, and he's the one that told us, that it's important to hold your note up here, because otherwise this little arrow will cover it up. So you go like that.
Hey, thank you so much for clicking on my Facebook ad about homes here in Las Vegas. If you're interested in more information, please click yes or no, and all of that information that I promised is on its way to you right now.
So we were responding to an ad when people clicked on the ad, but this right here works when you miss somebody and you say, "Hi, Natasha, sorry I missed you. Hope to talk to you soon." And then you can do the mayor campaign or whatever you want to do, but that shows up on their text, just like this, with you saying hi to them, and then your face there, so they know that it's you. It's a game changer.
It covers a lot of things, right? One, it's very contextual specifically to that person. So, I mean, can you imagine if you get a text message and the first thing you see is, "Hi, Natasha," like, oh, let me play this. Yeah. And then the second one is, once they see you, who you are. I mean, people like to do business with people, not like faceless corporations or anything like that. And you're in a people business. And I'm telling you, we haven't seen anybody consistently do that. We've been talking about this for years now, all right? For years, because and that's a way to stand out, right? Because no one's doing it, no one does that. When's the last time you got a video text from anybody?
I can't think of one.
And you want to do it before everybody else is doing it because you want to
Exactly.
stand out.
Correct.
That's
correct.
the leader of the pack.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Good point.
So do that. And then what happens then is after you try to tempt them the second or third time, they see you like, oh, Natasha. Okay. Then they can put a face to a name. You're just not a complete stranger after that.
Right.
And, if you have a smile and a pleasant face, I tell you all the better because people are going to want to talk to you. So just make sure you smile for sure.
I'll give it a try. I'll see what responses I get. I'm sure I absolutely believe I would get more responses though. People would actually look at my texts.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then your next text, if you miss them, can say, if I don't know, if Aaron's giving you potential sellers, for instance, you could say, what is your, I'd be crazy not to sell my house price?
Right. And do you put their name on what you're holding?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the more times they see their own name, the easier it is for them to click. Right. And then instead of, I would use the video thing in the follow-up sequence too here, Ruth, as I was thinking about it. The same way you would use a postcard, what you would send in a postcard.
Yeah.
Here's your neighbor, selling at his price, and just show it, right? Like on the sheet.
Oh.
So, and now it's a video text. I tell you, if someone really takes this and kind of develops it and consistently does it, they'll just run the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no one's doing it still.
You'll be selling more than Aaron. That's one a day, every day but Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, give it a try.
Well, fantastic. Fantastic. Well, we want to get Jeff on here, but any last words from you, Natasha? I'd like to, Ruth, make a point to have Natasha on again, to follow up with her, 6 months down the road from now, where she's doing, and to see if, 3 months, whatever it is, to see your progress and what you're doing, what you've learned to share with everybody in the community here. So any last words from you, any tips for newcomers into this game or people who are potentially struggling that you can give before you go?
I think my biggest tip for newcomers is basically going back to what Ruth says, and the positive attitude is huge. Really just having a positive attitude and being consistent, just showing up. Even if it doesn't make sense, just show up and be as positive as you can about it, and you will get a lot farther than you think. Yeah. I'm trying to be like Ruthie. She's so consistent, 608 shows. So I think it's really good thing.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Natasha. Thank you. I love your kind words. Believe me, it keeps me going. I need that fuel. That's my oxygen.
I'm trying to be like you. So, I'm checking with you guys. I am going to try out the video text thing, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on, Natasha. I appreciate it.
For having me.
Thank you.
All right.
Now get to work.
Yeah, get to work. All right. So next up, Mr. Jeff Gitlin from Jagged Edge Marketing.
Yeah. Hi, Jeff.
Hey,
Jeff, good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
All right. So Ruth was telling me a little bit. You have some more tips and tricks here with the Google business pages here. So tell us a little bit what you have on the gambit for us today.
Well, so as I've mentioned on the show before, I'm a firm believer in Google My Business. If you can rank and you can rank into the map pack, you can get the phone to ring. And I started with Ruth a number of months back. So I started brand new on a brand new website. I didn't touch any of existing sites or anything. So in a market like Vegas, and I'm sure you can both attest to it, it's a pretty saturated market, real estate, and ranking for real estate is not an easy thing. But if you do rank, and you do rank in Google My Business, you can really start to do well. And I'm just now starting to see some really, really nice results. I can't pull anything up here, correct? I can't.
No.
But Ruth, you can either you might be able to, and I can kind of give you an example of what I'm talking about here. So maybe
if you tell me what to go to.
Yeah, well, let's go to Google. Now it's gonna possibly look different on screen, on different, depending upon where you're searching from. But hopefully I can give you a couple of examples here.
Can you bring me down in the background, Ruth?
Hang on just a second. Let me get here. I always say I need a producer.
No doubt.
Let's see here.
Actually, after our last conversation, Jeff, I, I see myself looking at what I do when I look up, like if I'm in a strange place, if I want to look at business, I go straight to maps now because
Right.
it is actually a pretty efficient search, much more than actually the web page itself. And so I think a lot of people are slowly, going to change their habits. And if you don't get on the map pack,
It's true. It's really, really true. And people, somewhere between 70 and 80% of the people stop searching once they get to the map pack. So for purposes of clarification, while Ruth is pulling this up,
Yeah,
the map pack is, and it depends on the term that you're searching for, and it depends on the location that you're searching for. But typically you'll have, for any search, you could type in restaurants near me or dry cleaners near me or whatever. You'll get some ads at the top, and then you'll get what's called the map pack, which is a Google map. You'll see a map of the area, and then 3 or 4 listings of what those top ranked companies are for that search. And those are organic rankings, and it's not you can't purchase those positions, although I'm going to guess at some point Google might eventually go to the paid model. But there's a reason that those exist. I mean, they're basic. Google is telling you these are the companies that we have internally verified as legitimate to the location and to the business. And so, Ruth, like type in, for example, and again, it depends where you're searching from, but let's just see how this works. Type in property management Spring Valley. Let's start with that. Let's see what comes up. So I can't see the screen.
Can you make that one screen bigger, Ruth, and put me down, but don't mute the audio?
You can even put me down. I don't. It'll fluctuate. Maybe it's hard for you to maneuver it, but in any case, my point is that when you get onto the first page and when you get into those map listings, that's when the fun really starts. So how do you go about doing that? You have to be able to. Yeah, so it's right there. So you're above. So and I don't know the other companies as well, but I know that I see Triumph Property Management. Are they a big company, Ruth? Max, Ruth? I think we lost them. But in any case, so that took me about 6 weeks to do that. and now we are starting to rank for tons and tons of keywords across the town for listings like that. So you can kill this, Ruth, because it's kind of hard to maneuver it.
And Mac's back.
There we go. Now we're back. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Actually, on my phone, I could hear it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
But so if you go through and start to take a look at terms like this, and you're ranking all the way up at the top. I don't know if I couldn't see whether we were in the map pack off your computer or not. And it depends where you search from as well. And Ruth, I don't know if you're able to pull up, I sent you an email of a GeoGrid search. I don't know if you're able to pull that up, but that's a heat map search of Google My Business Listing. And if not, I can continue on because I don't.
Yeah, you just keep talking. I'll get it.
Yeah. When we're down below, you're the only one that can hear, and then Ruth can hear us all, but we can't hear you, and you can't hear us. So just keep talking. Kind of go on your dissertation and.
Gotcha. So I sent you an email which shows a heat map of an example of what I'm talking about, and you can pull that up whenever you get a chance. So the map pack listing is not a paid for listing. That is an organic ranking based upon what Google deems as a relevant search to the locality and to the search term. Okay. So, and when 80% of the people are going to stop searching at that point, that's a pretty good place to land if you can get there. So I focus on that. So how do you do that? Well, there's, oh yeah, there it is. That heat map is for the website that I'm working on with Ruth, and it shows for property management in that area when you search from that area where it's going to come up into the Google Map Pack.
Wow.
So the lower the number, the better. Ruth, can you pull that up as the main thing?
Probably not. No, you came up main. It's hard to adjust with this. Yeah, it's not easy.
The goal is to have all green. Okay. And just a week ago, those were mostly yellows and some reds as well. So what's happening is because it takes time for Google to process all of it, but as those listings become more and more relevant to the proximity and to the search, they will hopefully become more and more green. And that's for the proximity area. So I'm searching pretty much the Spring Valley area of Las Vegas right there. So as your company, then you start off in the center of where you're operating from, and then you kind of go out into a larger radius, so that within a handful of months, Ruth, you'll see that listing covering all of Las Vegas, which would be really exciting, and for different search terms too. So that's what I do, and I work hard to do that. What are some of the things that you can do? I think I probably need to explain just what the Google My Business Listing is.
Yes.
If anyone has ever gone into, I'm going to look on their screen here so I can kind of walk through it. But you go to business.google.com and you type in your username and password, and that's where your listing will be if you have one. If you don't have a Google My Business Listing, my recommendation is to call me. I'm happy to do it for you for nothing to set that up for you. But Google My Business Listing is probably the first thing that you should do if you have any desire to do anything online, to be found online.
And that's the first thing we're going to do in class tomorrow or Monday, is we walk through the steps, since you've educated me how important all this is. And so we make sure that before we even get a LinkedIn profile or get into the business of the Facebook, that we make sure if somebody Googles you, they find your business page, and then they find you on LinkedIn, and then they find you on Facebook. But you've got to have a presence, or they're just going to go to the next person.
Yeah. I think I said this before. The joke in search engine optimization is, where do you go to die? The second page of Google.
Right. Yeah.
Because truly, how often have you gone to page 3 or 4 when you're searching for a property manager?
Hardly ever. Yeah.
So,
And especially people when they're looking for a real estate agent, somebody might have recommended someone. And if you go there and there's nothing, they're like, well, there's no presence here.
yeah. So, and it's not easy. Look, if we were ranking in a small town that had 25,000 people,
Different.
it's very different.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people on that'll watch this video that are in those positions where it's a lot easier. But Vegas, I mean, particularly just as you talk every day, is thousands of people are moving here, and real estate has become. Ruth, you've seen a big change over the years here, right? I mean, it is a saturated, difficult market to be found in for anything, whether you're a plumber or an HVAC guy or a locksmith or and so to be found, if that's what you're looking for, is something that you need to do. And the first step is setting up your Google My Business listing. So
and I mean, if you're building a search persona per se, which is what I think you're doing when you have a Google business page, you're opening the door to the crowd of customers who you've been keeping out because they can't find you. You're not there.
You're not there. So if you're not there, and it takes time. I mean, it doesn't just happen overnight, unless you're in a small town in a non-competitive niche. If you're in a small town and you're doing bounce houses, maybe you'll rank in a day or two.
Right.
If you're doing real estate Las Vegas, it's at this point, Vegas is an extension of LA, I think. So it's almost like it's trying to be like, real estate agent Los Angeles. There's a million listings. So how do you get above that? You really have to know what you're doing, and you have to understand what the locality is. The first thing really is just getting that Google My Business listing.
And once you get the page, then, we teach people in class how you geotag things, which you've taught me is very important.
It is.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what that is. What is geotagging?
So geotagging is having your pictures with latitude and longitude on them. Now, sometimes on your website, if you load a picture onto your website, Google actually, the information actually gets stripped from the website. Okay. But there are ways to have your images optimized and then uploaded to your Google My Business page. So when you when you go onto that map and you click on that company, they'll bring up reviews, they'll bring up videos, they'll bring up pictures if you have any questions and answers. All of this stuff you're going to want to fill out, everything. So like, for example, I'm on this other screen here. Once you have your Google My Business listing, and you go to business.google.com and you fill it out. So you fill out the name of the company, you fill out the category. The category is very, very important. If you're a pest control guy, can you type in the category of gardener? Maybe. You'd probably be better off doing pest control, right? There's a site, and this is really helpful. There's a site, Ruth, called Plepper, Plepper. And when you go on to Plepper, here's a tip of how to structuring sites. So I don't know if you want to pull it up, or I could just kind of walk through it, whatever's easier for you.
Just tell me how to spell it. I'll put that on the screen.
Plepper.
Plepper.
Yep.
.com.
Yep. I'll walk you through it.
Plepper. And so what does that do?
So it's important to nail your category or categories when you're ranking or when you're inputting for your Google My Business listing. Pull up on this other screen so I follow with you. You have that up on your computer, Ruth?
Plepper.
And this is a free tool. Doesn't cost you anything. So when you're searching for a company, it'll come up by the category that's ranking for it. So for example, if you're a property manager, you're a property management company, right? But there's also a slew of other potential categories that you could rank for. Let me know when you got there.
I'm here.
Okay. So do you see at the top it says tools?
Yeah, hold on. Let me bring it on the screen.
Okay, then I'll walk through it. This is a really good tip for people on their to set up the proper categories for Google My Business. Okay. At the top, second from the right, it says tools.
Go ahead. I'm going to see if I can make it bigger.
You can kill me.
I can't, and you can't hear.
Oh, okay. Under
But
okay.
just kind of read what it says.
Yeah, so you go under tools and then Google My Business categories list. You see
Yeah,
that?
I pulled it down. So it's got lots of different tools there.
Right. And
Which one should people start with?
So start with tools, Google My Business categories list 2021. So when you scroll down.
I can't do that, but go ahead. Just tell us.
Oh, okay. When you scroll down, there's a section where it asks you to type in the name of your niche. So I'm going to type in property manager and it comes up property management company. That just told me which category specific in the Google My Business listing that you're going to want to rank for. Okay. So your first category will be property management company, but there's also a section that says related categories right next to that. And in related categories, it'll give you listings like, oh, it looks like it's of course down right now.
So most people watching are in real estate. So what would they would just type?
Real estate agents, building manager.
Would they say Las Vegas or?
No. So you're just typing in
real estate agent.
I think the site is actually down today.
Do you type in real estate agent?
Yeah. Does it come up for you? I can't see. For some reason, it's not working on my computer today.
But what happens when you do that?
It'll give you a list of
keywords.
Which is also how you do your site. So let's say your site is abc.com. Okay. Yeah. If your site is abc.com, the way you should structure that site is abc.com/property management company. Property-management-
or real estate agent.
But then the related categories that you pull up will give you the next set of things. abc.com/real estate agents, abc.com/building managers, abc.com/ and so on and so forth. And then you build your page out to that. So the services that you're offering, it's actually, this tool for free will actually tell you how to build out your site and what content to build the site out for, which subsequently ranks for those categories within Google.
Sounds like a science project.
It is. It's free. It's not hard. It's why people hire people like me.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
I know it's time consuming.
It's time consuming, and you just have to, it's not that it's hard, but you just have to kind of think it through. Like this is
salespeople, Jeff, salespeople have to concentrate on, getting buyers and sellers, getting in front of them, calling people, setting appointments. And behind the scenes, you're the person that helps them be on the search page when someone searches Google,
right?
So that they get the buyers and the sellers and can make the phone calls and the appointments. So you're the behind the scenes person.
Yes.
So, it's not so much as we tell people how to do this, but that they need to find somebody like you that I highly recommend to do it for them.
Thank you. Yeah, it's this is so the phone call is a sort of an immediate connection with someone, right?
Yeah.
What this is, and everyone understands, I don't need to go through, but everyone understands the value of online marketing at this point, right?
Yes.
And that could be a million different things. And it could be social media. I've always felt that Google is where I like to place my, roll the dice.
Yeah.
If you're going to rank on Google, then you're probably going to have an advantage. And so this is just a way to structure certain things. So that's how you go through and structure your website. But there's also some very interesting, free, easy to do tips to help rise up in the Google My Business listing. And I haven't even had the opportunity to do it yet because I'm still building out a lot of stuff for you, Ruth. But here's a simple tip: post every day in your Google My Business. How about that? Take a picture, throw it on there, put your name. And I didn't have time. I did one this morning. I didn't have time to do an overlay. But if you understand Photoshop, or you can have someone do it, you can actually you can take a batch of 100 pictures, for example, run it through Photoshop, and have the name, your real estate name, the telephone number, and the website, for example. Okay. Mm-hmm. When you do that, Google can actually read the information on that photo. Okay. So when you upload to Google My Business and you upload a photo of an open house, let's say you're having an open house, put it on your Google My Business page, put your name on it, put your telephone number on it, put your website on it, do the listing, do the information. This is the event or the post that you're doing. And at the bottom of it, refer back to the link that was the last post that you did. So what happens is you start to daisy chain it every single day. If you do that every single day, which I'm going to get to for you soon, I just been focused on the other stuff. But once you have your site built, and once you have some of this other stuff set, if you upload 5 times a week to your Google My Business page, just a picture.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that'll be one of the #1 ranking things. And throw in some of your keywords. So maybe the title of your post today is you come up with the title every day for your videos, right?
Yes.
That's your title.
Right.
So is that the reason why you get better ranking, is because Google sees that this is there's new content
every day
on there. Right.
Right. So they're rewarding the content. That's just one out of 100 things that you can do. But it's advised. One of the biggest things, and we're going to get to this soon also as well, Ruth, so that's why I look forward to meeting you this week, is reviews. If you go onto a Google My Business page, you type in property manager Los Angeles, and the first guy's got 180 reviews, and the second guy's got 16 reviews, and the third guy has 0 reviews. Who are you going to click? Right? You're going to click the guy with the 168 reviews.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. I mean, that's just obvious. It's subconsciously, that's what you're going to do. It's the same thing when you're on Amazon. If you see a product and a product has 300 reviews and the product similar to it has 3,900 reviews, you're probably going to buy the one that has 3,900 reviews. So reviews are an important thing. And every time someone makes a review on your site, reply to it, and reply to it with a keyword. When someone says, "I love working with Ruth. She's the best agent in town," right? Ruth can write back, "Thank you. We work really hard at our property management services, Las Vegas."
Yeah.
All of that is helpful to the listing, and it just strengthens it. And if you have a new business, it takes a little bit longer. If you have an existing business like Ruth has had for all these years, you have tons of people that you've worked with. And we can do an outreach program to all these people saying, "Listen, we'd appreciate it if you, give us a review on Google." You've probably got a list a mile long, Ruth, on a spreadsheet, right?
Yep.
So we're going to get to that on how to reach out to them. We're going to automate it so that we reach out to them, do what's called a drip campaign. So let's say on day #1, we're going to send an email and a text that says, "Thank you so much for being a part of our property management team for all these years. Would really appreciate a review. Here's a link." You give them the link.
Yes. Which is so easy.
It's not, yeah. I mean, it's so easy. And then maybe 5 days later, if they haven't responded, you automate out the second email. "I know you've been busy. Sorry that you haven't been able to respond yet. It means a lot to us. We go over this in our staff meetings in the morning. We'd really appreciate it if you could give us, a review.
Yeah.
And here's the link." Now, you can't pay for this. Don't pay for it, or you're going to get into all kinds of problems. But if someone leaves a review, that's great. That'll just help. Then respond to it. You can also text it out. You're mentioning with your guest before. Well, I'm sorry. What was her name? She was
Natasha.
Natasha's great. And so you were talking about. I wrote down a couple of notes about all the phone calls.
Uh-huh.
There's also a way to automate. Have you ever heard of ringless voicemail?
Yes.
Yes.
Slide dial.
What is it?
Slide dial. Is that what you're talking about? Where you call somebody and it goes to their voicemail?
Well, yeah. So what I like to do is scrape an area on Google My Business. So let's say you scrape the Summerlin area, right,
Uh-huh.
of all the Google My Business listings. If you're in commercial real estate, for example, get a list of all the either area code or zip code rather, or types of businesses that you're looking to go after. Let's say you're in the commercial real estate business, and you could scrape that, get a list, and import that list into a ringless voicemail, and you'll have people calling you instead of you calling them for whatever it is that you're. I mean, I've done this as a digital marketing person,
So say that again, Jeff, for the audience.
So if there's ways to do it. This is another conversation, which I'm guessing I'll be on another show.
Right.
But there's a way to scrape the Google My Business Maps listings. So if you type in on that Maps listing, if you type in 89135, right?
Okay.
You get a listing of every business that's in 89135.
Right.
You put that into a spreadsheet. You're going to get names, telephone numbers, emails, address, all this information, right? Then you fire off a ringless voicemail. I tried this a little while ago as a test, just for my marketing company.
Uh-huh.
And I scraped, I don't know, a couple 100,000 names out of Las Vegas. And I sent off a ringless voicemail. And I did it so quickly. I had about 15 phone calls in the first couple of minutes from people saying, you just called, how could I help you? Some people didn't even listen to it, but they called right back. So my phone was ringing and it took me 5 minutes. And suddenly 15 calls in the first couple of minutes. My phone went to voicemail because I didn't have time to answer their call. So it's about, kind of planning it out. And that's a way to have incoming business.
Yes.
It depends what you're offering. It depends what line of work you're in. But if you're in property management or real estate, real estate is great and difficult at the same time. It's great because you have so much to talk about. You've got a new open house this week. Tomorrow you're talking about, the amount of people moving into Vegas. But open houses and new listings that you have, every time you get a new listing,
yes,
that's going on your Google My Business post every single time.
Right.
And link it to the previous one. And how do you do that? You just go to the previous post, copy the URL, and paste that into your new post. So you're daisy chaining it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, fantastic.
I know.
We're running at the top of the hour here, Ruth.
Yeah.
I think Jeff, are you in the class tomorrow or Monday here?
I'm not.
Or no, you're not. Okay, but Ruth's going to be talking about all this information,
stuff,
right?
Yeah.
This stuff. So, what's on the schedule? Jeff, appreciate all the information. Every time we have you on, I kind of pick up something new here. I'm going to try some of the strategies that he's talked about.
It's easier if I could figure out a way to share my screen. I could really.
No doubt. But we might have to go away for Be Live eventually. Yes. Simply because there's some cool features, but it makes it a little bit hard to share a screen and collaborate and things of that nature right now. Because
category is key. And one way to just look it up if you don't want to do it on Plepper, which is a free tool, is just type in property management for your city, or type in whatever real estate agent near me, right? You'll get a list of all these people. Find out what categories you're getting. It's interesting when I'm actually going to try it right now, like real estate agent near me. Most of the people probably have as their category real estate agent. Yeah, real estate agent. But there are some people that also then optimize other listings. Let me see if I can find just a few. You have property manager, real estate agents, real estate agency. So that's a different category. And so when you rank for more than one category, that also helps your listing as well.
Yes.
Plepper will actually tell you what percentage of people search by that term. So building manager, I think, is one of the categories. You're going to get, I think it's like 5 or 6%, which is small. You'll dominate. If you have a category for building manager and you add that, and then you build a page out that says abc.com/building-manager. I think that's the category, if I remember right. When someone types in building, those 5% of the people that type in building manager, guess who's going to show up?
Yeah, you are the person that did that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's very logical, but I can tell everybody it's very time consuming and
Call me.
yes.
Exactly right.
Well, Jeff,
Exactly
maybe you can come by the office on Monday at 10 o'clock and kind of see what Kane and I are teaching and offer some suggestions.
It's Monday at 10. Yeah, I think I can do that.
Okay. Why don't you come by? Because I know Natasha's going to be there and a couple other people I'm doing a private class for.
Okay.
And that might be good. Good for everybody.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
I appreciate
Jeff.
you letting me on today. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. So
Yes.
Any
Ruth,
questions?
I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good for now.
It's so much information that, and most people don't know a lot about it. And that's why we need to keep training them on it. On Thursday, Jimmy Degg and I are teaching Be the CEO of Your Life, which is a general CE class, and it is fabulous. It teaches people from A to Z how to run their business properly for the best tax advantages and then strategies. I give 7 fantastic strategies to build your business and increase your business. And Jimmy does a lot about time management, and so it's not about contracts, agency, ethics, and law. It's about you being the CEO of your life and attaining your goals. And that's from 10 to 1 at 8400 West Sahara. Go to bee.vegas. And I was going to put this on here. Hang on. I'll show you the site real quick. I know we're running out of time here. I was listening this morning and not being the producer. I know. Okay, here's where you go to sign up for the class. bee.vegas. And it takes you to the training page and you scroll down to the 12th, click on it, sign up, and that's all you got to do. You can be in person or Zoom. And we look forward to seeing a full house.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a productive week. We'll see you I'll see everybody next Saturday.
Yes, yeah, me too.
But you'll see Ruth on Monday.
Yes, you will.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks for coming
everybody.
on, Jeff.
Thank you
Bye,
so
everybody.
much.
My pleasure.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Do I just log off?
Yes, we're still live and we're just going to log off.
Is there anything else that you need? There we go.